Good evening, you're watching Super 6 here on India Today. I'm Akshita Nandagopal. Over the next 60 minutes, getting you all the top stories of the day. But let me run you through all the stories we'll be covering over the next 1 hour here on India Today. Story number one, our top focus here on Super 6 is over the United States government, the Trump government going ahead and halting student visas, a freeze on student visas right now, and obviously scores of Indian students have been impacted by the same. But there are so many questions doing the rounds right now that we're going to be answering all of your queries. If you're a student, you're watching this and you're wondering what's going to happen to your plans of studying in America, we've got you covered. We're going to be answering all the FAQs on this issue at the top of 6 p.m. Story number two on Super 6. We're also going to be telling you about the latest in the showdown between Donald Trump, between the Trump administration and Harvard University. So while students, of course, await their fate, see whether they're going to get a visa to America or not, if you're a Harvard student, then you know it's double trouble essentially, as the Trump administration is cracking down in an unprecedented manner. And is this because Barron Trump, Trump's son, was actually denied admission? We're going to be talking about that as well. Story number three on Super 6, coming up at 6:30 p.m. is that heated debate of Tamil versus Kannada sparked by Kamal Haasan when he said that Kannada emerged from Tamil. It's got Kannada groups, it's got politicians in Karnataka all lashing out at Kamal Haasan, even demanding that Kamal's films now be boycotted. But is there any truth to what Kamal Haasan said? Did Kannada actually emerge from Tamil? We're going to be decoding that for you at 6:30 this evening. Also on Super 6, story number 4, very interesting one that's coming from Tamil Nadu. Next year is the assembly elections. Everyone's talking about the Vijay factor. What exactly will be his impact in the elections? And amid that, the AIADMK has claimed that TVK is also welcome to the BJP-AIADMK alliance, and hints coming in from the BJP and AIADMK that Vijay is perhaps in talks with them. Is that a possibility? What will it really mean to the political landscape in Tamil Nadu? I'm going to be telling you all about that. And sticking to south, to Tamil Nadu, another story that we'll be telling you about, that's story number 5 on Super 6, will be the Anna University sexual assault case, which had rocked Tamil Nadu months ago. A Mahila court today has declared Jnanashekaran as guilty. He's someone who's been associated with the DMK, and now he's been found guilty. We'll be talking about the political repercussions of that. Now let's begin, as promised, with our top focus. America halting new student visa interviews worldwide. And for Indian students, we're just going to put the focus over the next 30 minutes on Indian students. What does it mean for any of you planning your studies in America? All FAQs will be broken down here on India Today. We'll get all your queries answered by experts. But first, a look at this report where we tell you what exactly the Trump administration has announced.
What do we do? Stand up like that! I said with immigrants, every student is welcome here. Education we believe. Thank you.
As tensions rise between US President Donald Trump and Harvard University, a fresh blow lands, this time on international students.
And now, stand up like that. What do we do? Stand up like that.
The Trump administration has ordered US embassies worldwide to pause all new student visa appointments. The State Department is tightening its grip, prepping to expand social media vetting for international students. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio confirmed that consular sections must suspend new visa interview scheduling until further notice. Previously, this vetting focused on students involved in pro-Palestine demonstrations. Now the crackdown broadens, citing concerns over anti-Semitism and political unrest on US campuses. President Donald Trump had earlier this week doubled down on his demand for the list of names of international students enrolled at Harvard.
We want to know who the people. Now, a lot of the foreign students we wouldn't have a problem with. I'm not going to have a problem with foreign students, but it shouldn't be 31%. It's too much because we have Americans that want to go there and to other places, and they can't go there because you have 31% foreign. Now, no foreign government contributes money to Harvard. We do. So why are they doing so many? Number one. Number two, We want a list of those foreign students, and we'll find out whether or not they're okay.
Every student's welcome here.
This week on Harvard campus, hundreds rallied, students and professors standing united, defending the rights of foreign students as Washington moves to slash funding and revoke visa privileges.
We're a country founded on immigrants, and we're a country, one of our core values is being welcoming to immigrants from all across America, all across the world into American shores. And I think that we've really gotten away from that core value.
When we go back home, most of us serve as ambassadors to the country in an informal way. We go back to strengthen American ties with our countries. We are actually participating in the system, making this country bigger, if you want it, better in a sense. And so I will just say that we are not the enemy. You don't have to fight us.
I think that Trump's attacks on higher education stop, because if we show enough resistance, then he is going to fold. That's how Trump works. We have to stop him now, and if we do, I believe that we can succeed.
With nearly 30% of international students in the US hailing from India, Indian students will be hit the hardest by the Trump administration's latest move to put new student visas on hold. The pause affects fall 2025 first-time applicants, J1 visa seekers, and those yet to book an interview. If interviews are already scheduled, those will continue. But for the rest, uncertainty looms. The visa freeze, though temporary, comes with no end date. Students can still apply online but won't be able to schedule interviews. Until clarity emerges, Indian applicants are urged to stay in touch with their universities, consider deferrals, and watch for updates from the US Embassy. Bureau Report, India Today.
What a jolt for scores of students, not just in India but worldwide as well. Let me bring in our Foreign Affairs editor, Geeta Mohan, for more details on what we're seeing right now, this freeze on student visas. Geeta, there's obviously no timeline that's been given, but in this kind of a situation where things are so unpredictable, has there been any advisory that's really been issued by the embassy for students who are applying for these visas?
Well, the fact that there has been a statement and a position taken by the US government when it comes to putting the visa interviews on hold is a huge development, has confused many across the world. But when it comes to the embassy, they have also said that there is a lot of time that it takes to really go through the visa process. So they're not stopping the visa process. They're saying apply, but when the time comes, and if at all there is a permission to start the students' visas again, then they will start the interviews and so on and so forth. So right now, the embassy said that this is the form, this is where you can go and apply for visas. Do not stop applying because it is a tedious process, it is cumbersome, last minute it is not going to happen, and therefore while the decision in Washington DC is to stop interviews for now, should the matter change, should a decision be taken, Akshita, where they would be allowing students in, the courts are also here a very important part of the entire decision making, where colleges and universities have gone to the courts. Should a decision be taken, then they will have to start the visa process yet again, and that's when it will become cumbersome. So yes, they've asked them to continue looking at the websites and applying according to the rules and norms, but visa interviews for now certainly will be on hold.
Okay, so pause essentially in the process as is. Whichever stage of the application is on right now, a pause has been pressed at this point because of the announcement by the administration. Thanks very much, Geeta, for joining us with those details. As promised, we're going to be explaining for you all the details of the repercussions of this decision on students, on those who are looking to go to America as well. Joining us here on India Today is Karan Gupta, an educationist and visa counselor. So the apt voice perhaps to break down all the confusion right now over the announcement made by the Trump administration. Karan, interestingly, is also an alumnus of Harvard. So I'd be curious to know what you also have to say about all that's happening right now with Harvard. Good evening, first of all. Karan, thank you very much for your time.
Good evening, Akshata. Thank you so much for having me here today.
Karan, a couple of questions that have been doing the rounds from students, from those who are looking to go to America this year, that we want to set the record straight on, get some of their queries answered. So we've listed those down in a series of questions. The first FAQ that I'd like to put out, which if you could answer would be great, is from many students who say we've applied for the visa. What happens now? Does the process get halted? Is it a press pause for now?
So the first thing what we've got to see is what we are witnessing. It's unprecedented, and this is not just a visa issue. It's a geopolitical signal. International education is now entangled with larger political narratives, and unfortunately, our students are caught in the middle. So to answer your question, if you've already applied for a US student visa and scheduled your interview, that appointment will be valid, and you should proceed as planned, because the suspension only applies to new interview appointments. So your existing visa application is not halted, but what's disrupted is your timeline and possibly the predictability that students rely on.
Okay, let's bring up question number 2 then. If I get admission in a US college, what do I do? Many students have asked this, Karan, saying we haven't started off, initiated the process for a visa, but we've gotten admission. So what do we do next?
If you've been admitted to a US university, your admission is still valid. But without a visa slot, your path is temporarily blocked. So my recommendation is stay in close touch with your university's international student office. Many universities are offering options like deferred admissions, ability to start classes online. This isn't a closed door, it's a longer hallway at the moment. I would say if you've got admission, wait for a couple of weeks, that you should get visa appointments.
Okay, so you think that this will kind of blow over in a few weeks? You think it's temporary?
I definitely think it's temporary, because if you look at the reasoning as to why this has been done, there's a very simple answer here. It's been done so that the visa officers can take some time to check the social media history of students that are applying. So the moment they get the systems in place, they get the right AI to detect what kind of social media presence students have, appointments would be available again.
Okay, let's bring up question number 3 also, Karan, which is, can I apply for a US visa now and wait it out? If they've got admission in a university, would you recommend that they still go through that process of filing their application, or just wait?
100% yes. If you do see a visa slot anywhere in the country, not just your city, it could be Mumbai, Delhi, Chennai, Bangalore, it could be anywhere. Wherever you see an appointment, take it. Prepare, get your documentation in order, keep checking for what updates there are up there, and when the time comes, go for your interview. The thing is, you may not see interview slots available anymore.
So with no slots, then, I'm sure students will be in a frenzy, because they, I'm sure, are already checking non-stop on the website for any communication that comes through. But one of the questions that's constantly coming up, and I think most students have asked this, Karan, is about what really do they have as a backup plan. So let's bring up that question as well. Do I apply to universities in other countries as backup in case, nothing moves in America? Should they do that? Would you recommend that they apply to other universities and look at other countries?
Definitely. You have to diversify your risk. I advise students to consider universities in other countries like the UK, which is very much still open for admission, so many parts of Europe, Singapore. You still have so many different options. If you feel nervous, if you feel that the US is not going to work out for you, even now make fresh applications. You can go to another country and not put your career on hold. Hold on to the US offer, yes, but give yourself some flexibility and security at this time.
And I think in these unpredictable times, best not to put all your eggs in one basket, especially with someone like Trump. You never know what's really coming. There is obviously a timeline in admissions, etc., especially when it's overseas. So one of the questions also that we put up, question number 5 now, that we've pulled out from what students have been discussing on social media, will this halt lead to a 1-year freeze on my admission? How does that work?
Not necessarily. Now, that is the worst case scenario, that yes, it could lead to a 1-year freeze. It's not guaranteed. Universities are flexible. We saw that during COVID. And many of them are going to allow you to begin your program remotely. They'll get you to the US when the time is right, if it arrives to that. The key is to communicate with the university, understand what options they're offering, but in most cases, you're not going to waste this 1 year.
Okay, we certainly hope so. And you already said that it's temporary. So let's hope that all this gets ironed out. One point that you made, Karan, and this is something that students have been voicing too, about social media accounts being vetted, being checked. Students are asking, in what manner will that actually happen? How will my social media be vetted? What are the signs to watch out for? What should students kind of refrain from doing if they want to study in America now?
So, one thing is that the US has not been transparent with what is it that they're going to check on your social media or how they're going to check it. But we know that they're expanding the screening procedures. Students have to think of their social media presence as part of their visa application. These are not two separate things anymore. They have to review everything from posts, comments, and even likes, accounts they're following. If a student's digital footprint reflects support for groups that the US deems hostile or includes criticism of US policies, it could be flagged. I tell students, do a full audit of your social media. I'm not talking about what you did yesterday and 1 month before. It could be 3 years ago or 5 years ago. Your online presence is part of your application file.
That's scary, daunting almost, that what you've written maybe years ago will come back to bite you now. But I also want to understand, just a quick follow-up that I also had, Karan, on this, which is that is this kind of vetting new? Hasn't US always been known to do this?
Absolutely. See, the other day I had the same conversation with a parent where I said that a lot of the things that are making headlines today, all of this has been in US law for the last 5 to 10 years. It's just that they're now enforcing it. So even previously, applicants for all types of visas were asked for their social media handles. They were always scrutinized. Now it's coming into focus. Now even the smallest mistake that you make could cost you your visa.
Okay, I'll bring the focus back to our FAQs. The seventh question that we've pulled out from students is many of them are wondering if they have an existing student visa. Is that also in danger now, Karan? What do you think?
All right. One thing to remember is that, yes, first, your visa is valid. It's legally valid. But that does not guarantee a smooth entry into the United States. We are seeing reports of students being questioned at ports of entry or facing direct visa revocations because they posted something online or they supported some group online after their visa was issued. So your visa is valid right now, but it's not something that's set in stone. It's always going to be looked upon in terms of your behavior and digital contact.
Okay, final question. Let's put that up on our screens. Students in Harvard or who've gotten admission in Harvard, are they going to face more scrutiny than others?
I hate to say this, Akshata, but yes. Harvard has been in the limelight. Harvard has been at war with the Trump administration. We know that they revoked their authority to enroll international students, which has been halted by the court. Harvard has been accused of campus activism and supporting anti-Semitism. So it is true that students who are going to study at Harvard should expect more scrutiny for everything that they've ever said, done, posted online. They should be more prepared than the normal student who's applying for visas.
Okay, so I think we've kind of answered all of the queries of students who I'm sure are very, very worried and concerned looking at the developments right now. We're done with those FAQs, but I also wanted to just ask you, Karan, as an alumnus of Harvard, looking at what's happening right now at Harvard University, is there a lot of concern, particularly among current Indian students in Harvard? Are they very unsure about what's going to happen next?
Absolutely, Akshata. There's concern, there's fear. Students at Harvard, students at Columbia, students at all top schools are worried. They're worried because they know that they've got temporary restraining orders. Maybe the courts are in their favor. But you're living in an atmosphere of fear. You're living in an atmosphere of uncertainty. There's so much chaos right now in the minds of students and parents back home. And not just that, we're talking about people on OPT who are still being sponsored by Harvard. So there may be students who graduated 2 years earlier. They're still worried that what if their OPT gets cancelled? So we're talking about more than 20 to 30,000 students who are affected by this uncertainty that's going on in the US right now.
And I also want to understand, how does this impact America? We're all talking about, yes, students struggling, their fate being uncertain, their futures at stake right now. But this also dents America. Just look at the numbers on our screens. Of the total international students, 29.4% come from India in America. So I'm sure that dents American institutions too.
Absolutely. I mean, America is going to lose out big time. They're looking at billions and billions of revenue that comes in from international students. And this is just the first step. What happens to that high quality talent that eventually stays back in the US and contributes back to the economy? The CEOs of all your top global firms today are Indian origin. You're going to lose out on that talent. What the US is doing now, and if they continue on this path of making it harder for international students, qualified international students to get to the US, it's going to backfire in the long run.
Very true. And, many experts have opined that this is something that Trump is going to come to regret, perhaps. The fact that he's doing this unprecedented crackdown on international students, first Harvard, now overall on all international students. Yes, it's a temporary freeze, but one that not just punishes students, but also American institutions. Thanks very much, Karan. Always a pleasure to have you here with us on India Today. And thank you for indulging our viewers, answering all of those questions as well on what really happens to students going forward.
Thank you.
Now, while we focus really on what's been happening at Harvard University, we've been seeing this crackdown that's been going on for the last many months. But is there a Barron Trump link to Trump going all out against these Ivy League colleges? There have been some reports that suggest that Trump's action may actually be prompted by vendetta after his son was rejected by top-notch schools, including Harvard. This is what reports suggest. More details coming up.
The internet erupted after Trump announced his son Barron would attend NYU's Stern School of Business. Not Harvard, Stanford, or Wharton, the school Trump himself graduated from. For many online, this wasn't just a simple college choice. The theory, Barron was rejected by every top Ivy League school. And his father, the President of the United States of America, Donald Trump, known for grudges, might be taking it personally. US Senator Sheldon Whitehouse added fuel, tweeting, and I quote, "Can't help but wonder how many Trumps got rejected by Harvard," unquote. The rumor mill went wild, with calls for Harvard to release Barron's rejection letter and chatter about Trump's anger over perceived elitist snubs. But here is the truth. There was no confirmed evidence Barron was rejected anywhere. Back in September 2024, Donald Trump said Barron had multiple options and chose NYU because he liked it. Barron's mother and the current First Lady of the United States, Melania Trump, confirmed, saying Barron wanted to stay close to home and live at Trump Tower while studying in New York. Still, some draw comparisons like Malia Obama, who graduated from Harvard, and Sasha Obama, who transferred from Michigan to USC. Donald Trump has long had a complicated relationship with elite universities. Though an Ivy League alumnus himself, he is often criticized or opposed by these institutions. Now with Barron outside that circle, some see a personal tension, result of online speculation. With Saurav Sinha, Bureau Report, India Today Global.
I'll reiterate that all of this is an online buzz, but we'll have to see whether any of it is true. Trump has been going all out against Harvard and so many other Ivy Leagues, and this seems to be just the beginning of his crackdown. There's a language war brewing currently between Tamil and Kannada, between Tamilians and Kannadigas, and all of this was sparked by actor-politician, the legend Kamal Haasan, who sparked this controversy by claiming in the Thug Life promotions that Kannada emerged from Tamil. This has led to Kannadigas demanding an apology from Kamal Haasan. It's also led to boycott Kamal Haasan calls in Karnataka. Details in our next report of exactly what Kamal Haasan said and the reactions thereafter.
Actor turned politician Kamal Haasan sparked a controversy by claiming Kannada was born out of Tamil.
இது அந்த ஊரில் இருக்கும் என் குடும்பம். அதனால தான் அவர் இங்கே வந்திருக்காரு. அதனால தான் நான் பேச்சை ஆரம்பிக்கும் பொழுது நான் உயிரே உறவே தமிழே என்று ஆரம்பித்தேன். அதில் தமிழிலிருந்து பிறந்தது தான் உங்கள் பாஷையும். அதனால் நீங்களும் அதில் உட்படுவீர்கள்.
Pro-Kannada activists condemned Kamal Haasan's remarks. In Bengaluru, the protesters tore apart Thug Life posters in anger. Under fire, Kamal Haasan rushed to control damage.
பக்கத்து ஸ்டேட்ல உள்ள பாஷையை கத்துக்குங்க, ஹிந்தி அப்புறம் பார்க்கலாம். எங்க பாஷை ஃபர்ஸ்ட் அழிஞ்சு போகாம பார்க்க வேண்டியதுதான் எங்க கடமை. இந்த ஊர்ல வந்து சொல்ற தில்லி எப்படி இருக்கு தெரியுமா? நாம் அனைவருமே திராவிடர்கள். அந்த பெருமையுடன் we offer our family thug life.
Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah slammed the Tamil superstar over his remarks on Kannada.
ಕನ್ನಡ ಭಾಷೆಗೆ ಬಹಳ ದೀರ್ಘಕಾಲದ ಇತಿಹಾಸ ಇದೆ, ಪಾಪ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ.
The Karnataka BJP demanded action against Kamal Haasan.
I condemn this. I recommend the government to boycott all the films of Kamal Haasan in Karnataka. Otherwise, he will just like acting like a mental patient.
The controversy has erupted even as Kamal Haasan is set to make his parliamentary debut. The DMK is sending him to the Rajya Sabha as its nominee. With Pramod Madhav, Bureau Report, India Today.
Let's get you the clarification that's come in from Kamal Haasan. Amid all of this outrage, Kamal Haasan has maintained he is not going to apologize, saying that what I said was from a place of love. I said it out of love, and he says I meant nothing from making such a comment. He's also said Tamil-Nadu is a state where a Menon, a Reddy, they've all been our chief ministers. So no question of dividing. Listen in to what Kamal Haasan has said now.
I think what I said was said out of love, and with a lot of historians have taught me language history, and that I didn't mean anything. And let me tell you, Tamil Nadu is a place which has been open. I don't say that there's no other state like that, but very rare state where a Menon has been our chief minister. A Reddy has been our chief minister. Tamilan has been chief minister. Then a Kannadiga Iyengar has been our chief minister from Mandya. Politicians are not qualified to talk about language. They don't have the education enough to talk about it. That includes me. So let's leave all these very in-depth discussions to historians, archaeologists, and language experts.
So Kamal Haasan saying very clearly that the comment he made came from a place of love, and he's saying as far as this language debate goes, I'll leave it to the historians. Let me bring in Pramod Madhav, who's joining us live from Chennai. We've also got Sagar Raj live with us. Pramod, I'll come across to you first. Clarification coming in from Kamal Haasan. While he's not apologizing, and he said very clearly, I will not say sorry, he is attempting to kind of clear the air over this entire controversy and settle this entire issue and outrage.
It surely is, Akshita. One thing we very clearly know from the past experiences is that it's not easy to get an apology from Kamal, because he stands by whatever comments he makes, and he also he's trying to explain that he was actually talking to Shivraj Kumar in that particular event, and he was trying to show that his comments were actually about talking about an extended family of Tamil, and that's why he said that Kannada was from Tamil, and now he claims that whatever he said was out of love, and he claims that only historians and language scholars are the ones who can actually go ahead and speak on this matter, but not politicians. But for some reason, he wants to also emphasize that in Tamil Nadu, there have been chief ministers from various states as well, and he only takes a surname like Reddy, Nadu, and also the Iyengar, Akshita.
Okay, I'll also bring in Sagai Raj. He's joining us live from Mangaluru with the latest updates. Sagai, what's with the outrage in Karnataka? Why is it that politicians, historians, pro-Kannada groups, they've all jumped into this entire issue head first, and they're demanding apologies, they're pushing for a boycott of Kamal Haasan? What's their argument here?
See, when it comes to water, language and land, nobody will compromise in the state of Karnataka. And if you see the history as well, the Dravidian politics emerged opposing Hindi imposition. So when it comes to language, it is the sentiment and emotions are quite high, and definitely people would like to take political mileage, whether it is politicians or pro-Kannada activists. Even the politicians feel that whatever they said is right or wrong, but still they will try to refrain from making any kind of statement on this, because the sentiment of people will always remain with the language, water or land. So when it comes to these issues, there are opposition from the parties, irrespective of parties. If you notice, BJP have opposed, and remember that Kamal Haasan is a part of India Alliance, but still the Congress has also hit out, where the Chief Minister has criticized that Kamal Haasan doesn't know the history, and even his cabinet minister have criticized, and even remember Kannada and Cultural Minister has also demanded his apologies. So when it comes to these things, they never compromise. Everybody are in a single voice will oppose this, and in days ahead, even if anybody speak in a similar tone or similar kind of language, definitely everybody will oppose in the state of Karnataka.
Okay, we're seeing a lot of reactions even from the Chief Minister on this issue, so you can imagine how it's blown up really in Karnataka right now. Thanks very much, Sagai. Pramod, I request you to stay on with me, because we also got another very interesting story from Tamil Nadu that we'd like to talk about. Away from really the Kamal Haasan controversy, let's talk about the big political headline that came in from Tamil Nadu, a state that's going to elections next year. The AIADMK and BJP, as you all well know, have joined hands for the upcoming elections. And now there's buzz of superstar Neta Vijay also perhaps joining this alliance. The BJP reportedly has stepped up efforts to ensure all parties come together, that it's everyone versus DMK in Tamil Nadu. And in that effort, they've also made comments saying Vijay should join the NDA, should join the AIADMK and BJP to defeat the DMK. The TVK, which is Vijay's party, Tamaraga Vetri Karagam, has slammed BJP for attempting to drag them into an alliance. TVK has clarified that their goal is to defeat DMK, but without any help from the AIADMK. Now, is this alliance going to happen or not? Well, remember that a senior AIADMK leader has also said that TVK is on our side. They agree with us that DMK is a symbol of corruption. So they've also now hinted at the possibility of Vijay actually joining this alliance. So it'll be interesting to see if that actually happens. For now, there's a whole lot of speculation, and it seems efforts by the BJP and AIADMK to get Vijay on board.
The ADMK's senior leader, Kadambur Raju, has made a statement saying that both ADMK and TVK's Vijay, they want to defeat DMK. They have a common agenda. So anything can happen in politics, and so ADMK and TVK might as well forge an alliance, is what he has hinted at. Any leads on that, ma'am? Is there a chance?
No, even when this question was asked to our state president, Sri Nayanar Nagendranji, he also has said all the opponent parties should unite, because the way the Tamil Nadu government's misgovernment is going on, it should be defeated. It's mandatory that DMK should be defeated. There should not be any split of the opponents' votes. So for that, it is the appeal of each and every party. They should combine together to defeat DMK. This is one of the view of the ADMK leader. And this is the view of most of the leaders, because who are facing the challenges of the misgovernance of Tamil Nadu. So this is one opinion, and even our state leader Nainar also opined like that. And the people who are all against DMK, all should unite. So that is the hope of Tamil Nadu.
ஆனால் இந்த ஆட்சி மக்கள் விரோத ஆட்சி, மக்களுக்கு நலம் பயக்காத ஆட்சி. சொன்ன தேர்தல் வாக்குறுதியை ஏமாற்றி மக்களை நயவஞ்சமாக வஞ்சித்து ஆட்சிக்கு வந்தவர். மக்களை ஏமாற்றி ஆட்சி வீட்டுக்கு அனுப்பப்பட வேண்டும் என்ற கருத்தோடு நாங்கள் தேர்தலை அணுகின்றோம். அதே கருத்தை தான் அன்பு சகோதரர் நண்பர் விஜய் அவர்களும் இந்த ஆட்சி அகற்றப்பட வேண்டிய ஆட்சி என்ற நிலைப்பாட்டில் இருக்கின்றார். எனவே அந்த கருத்து பிரதிபலிப்பு என்பது ஒற்றுமையாக இருப்பதில் இதில் ஒன்றும் குற்றமாக இல்லை, மாற்று கருத்துக்கு இடமில்லை. எதிர்காலத்தில் சூழ்நிலையில் இன்னும் கால அவகாசம் இருக்கின்றது. இன்றைக்கு மே மாதம் முடிய போகின்றது, ஜூன் மாதம் வருகின்றது. ஜூன் மாதம் வந்தால் இந்த ஆண்டு கிட்டத்தட்ட 6 மாதம், டிசம்பர் வரை, ஜனவரியிலே தான் கூட்டணி எழுதி வடிவப்படும். இந்த ஆட்சி அகற்றப்பட வேண்டும் என்ற ஒத்த கருத்துடைய கட்சிகள் ஒன்றாக சேர்ந்தால் அதில் ஆட்சி.
So is there a possibility of this actually happening, of Vijay joining hands with the BJP and AIADMK? Let's decode for you what Vijay said in the past. He's been critical, yes, of the DMK, but he's also been critical of the BJP and AIADMK. Here's how.
இந்த நாட்டையே பாழ்படுத்துற பிளவுவாத அரசியல் செய்யறவங்க தான் தமிழக வெற்றி கழகத்தோட ஒரே முழு முதல் கொள்கை எதிரி, ஐடியாலஜிக்கல் எனிமி. அடுத்து திராவிட மாடல்னு சொல்லிக்கிட்டு தந்தை பெரியார் பேரறிஞர் அண்ணா பேரை வச்சு தமிழ்நாட்டை சுரண்டி கொள்ளையடிக்கிற ஒரு குடும்ப சுயநல கூட்டம் தான் நம்மளோட அடுத்த எதிரி, அரசியல் எதிரி, பொலிட்டிக்கல் எனிமி. இங்க நீங்க தான் இப்படின்னா அங்க அவங்க யாரு? உங்க சீக்ரெட் ஓனர். அவங்க உங்களுக்கும் மேல மாண்புமிகு திரு மோடிஜி அவர்களே, தமிழ்நாட்டிலிருந்து வர ஜிஎஸ்டியே கரெக்டா வாங்கிக்கிறீங்க, ஆனா தமிழ்நாட்டுக்கு பட்ஜெட்ல நிதி ஒதுக்க மாட்டேங்கிறீங்க. இங்க படிக்கிற நம்ம பிள்ளைங்களோட படிப்புக்கு நிதி ஒதுக்க மாட்டேங்கிறீங்க. டீலிமிட்டேஷன் என்ற பேர்ல தமிழ்நாட்டோட பார்லிமெண்ட் சீட்ஸ்லயும் கை வைக்க பாக்குறீங்க. தமிழ்நாட்டை கொஞ்சம் கேர்ஃபுல்லா ஹேண்டில் பண்ணுங்க சார். ஏன்னா தமிழ்நாடு பல பேருக்கு தண்ணி காட்டின ஸ்டேட் சார், பல பேருக்கு தண்ணி காட்டின ஸ்டேட் சார். பார்த்து செய்யுங்க சார், மறந்துடாதீங்க சார்.
So Vijay's political entry, who will it affect the most? I want to pull out some data from a political stock exchange. This was from a couple of months ago, right after the AIADMK-BJP alliance was announced. Now, here's what people had to say about Vijay's political entry. Who does it impact the most? And you see this breakdown right now. We've got the AIADMK plus, we've got the NDA, we've got the India bloc as well. And the reason for this breakdown is because this data was collated just before the alliance happened. But to significantly weaken the alliance, if you see the breakdown, essentially it seems to suggest here that people believe others will be worst affected. And then you have the AIADMK, then the DMK. India bloc, of course, is the DMK Congress. Moderately weakened alliance, largely most people feel it could be the India bloc here, the DMK and the Congress. So we'll have to see whether this is something that played out in the minds of the AIADMK and BJP, that Vijay could be in a sense a woodcutter factor even for them. Let's also talk about who the people of Tamil Nadu would choose as their chief minister, faces who they believed is in fact someone they'd like to repose faith in. On top of that list essentially is, you've got MK Stalin right on top of that list, and then you have also Edappadi Palaniswamy. Right after that is Vijay. So third most favored, preferred CM candidate is Thalapathy Vijay. So that's another big talking point. And Pramod Madhav is joining us with more on this. Pramod, while AIADMK BJP seem to be giving out feelers in a sense to Vijay, perhaps the biggest bone of contention on this will be the CM post itself. Because reportedly, while there have been efforts before also to get this alliance together, Vijay is very clear that the CM throne should come to the TVK if they win.
Actually, one thing is very clear because every other scenario is being brainstormed by Vijay's team. In fact, there was one concept as well because we earlier, almost 4 months ago when we were talking to our sources, we came to know that a formula could be derived between AIADMK and TVK that would be actually mirroring what is happening in Andhra Pradesh, where Pawan Kalyan became the Deputy Chief Minister and Chandrababu Naidu as CM Chief Minister. And here, considering that the twin leaf symbol still has a huge kind of following and all it needs is a strong face, and that could be Vijay. There was quite a lot of possibility through that brainstorming. We came to know that he could become the Deputy Chief Minister. In fact, we even put forward this question to Pawan Kalyan when he came to Chennai, and he very clearly mentioned that even for Pawan Kalyan, it took almost a decade to come to this position, and it cannot be definitely for him. But Vijay, did Pawan Kalyan also say that Vijay is definitely a formidable force in this spot. But however, right now it looks like after AIADMK submitted its alliance with BJP, Vijay's team is definitely not happy with it because all this while, if you see his statements, comments or any kind of speech, he never directly attacked AIADMK the way he has attacked DMK or BJP, keeping that path very clear. But from now on, how it's going to go, we need to wait and watch because it looks like AIADMK has definitely decided to be with BJP until unless we are speaking right now. So for now, TVK definitely wants to stay away from these two parties, even though AIADMK claims that the common enemy is DMK for them and they should join hands, Akshita.
Let's see, never say never in politics, especially in a state like Tamil Nadu. So let's see what happens in the months to come, whether Vijay chooses to go solo or allies with either side right now. Thanks very much, Pramod, for joining us with all of those details. Let's cut across to a news break coming in. Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu has spoken out on all of the controversy surrounding HAL, and Karnataka government's claims that the Andhra government is seeking relocation of HAL from Bengaluru to Andhra Pradesh. Chandrababu Naidu has cleared the air on this, saying, "We never sought to move any institution. It's not something that I believe in doing. It's not a part of my legacy or my practices." Chandrababu Naidu has said there's no question of Andhra Pradesh or his government or him personally seeking the relocation of HAL from Karnataka. Listen in.
బెంగళూరులో ఉండే హెచ్ఏఎల్ నేను ఏదో షిఫ్ట్ చేయాలని కోరానని నేను ఎప్పుడూ అలాంటి పనులు చెయ్యను. నా చరిత్రలో అది లేదు. అభివృద్ధికి మారు పేరు తెలుగుదేశం పార్టీ తప్ప.
So that's Chandrababu Naidu there, the Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister, making it clear that it's not part of his beliefs, his legacy, to go ahead and seek relocation of a facility that's intrinsic to Karnataka. So that controversy essentially dying there with the Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister clearly clarifying that there's no question of taking any such step. And that's all we have time for in this edition of Super 6. But as always, let's get you a fact check of the day. There are claims doing the rounds on social media that Rahul Gandhi has been planting actors in social meetings, with this particular picture claiming that person has been planted by the Congress in these meetings, that people actually aren't turning up. This claim is false. This picture is from a real meeting that Rahul Gandhi was a part of. So no, there's no actor who's been brought in for being a part of this meeting with Rahul Gandhi. As always, don't believe everything you see on social media. And here on India Today, we'll continue calling out all the fake news that's doing the rounds on social media. Thanks very much for tuning in. That's all we have time for on Super 6.